Taxonomical aids. We have to discuss about taxonomical aids. Okay, what is meant by taxonomical aids? Yes, these taxonomical aids are the collection of samples or pressed organisms which help in extensive research work for the identification of various taxonomic hierarchy. Here, the taxonomical aids of the collection of the samples are preserved organisms which help in extensive research for the identification of the various taxonomical hierarchy. Which means that the taxonomical aids are the tools to identify the organisms which may be unknown organisms, unknown plants. We have to identify by using these taxonomical aids. Yes, these taxonomical aids are the various types. Among them, one we have to discuss about the one that is the herbarium. Herbarium is one of the taxonomical aid. See, what are the characteristics of these herbarium? The herbarium is a storehouse. Herbarium is a storehouse of collected plant specimens. Storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dried, pressed and preserved on sheets. Herbarium is a storehouse of the collected plant specimens that are dried, pressed and preserved on the sheets. Here, these specimens along with their description on herbarium sheets become a storehouse or a repository. For the further use. Here, these herbarium sheets also carry a label which this label which is providing information about a date and place of collection and English, local and botanical names. English name and local names are botanical names and family name and collector's name are also. These are all written on the sheets, written on the herbarium sheets. What is that? The date, place of collection, and English names and local names and botanical names and their family names and collector's name. These are all including on the herbarium sheets. Here, these herbaria also serve as a quick referral system. In taxonomical studies. Here, example, see, this is the Royal Botanical Garden (RBG). Royal Botanical Garden is which is presented Kew, which is in England. It has the largest herbarium. And is an international center for plant identification. It is an international center for plant identification. And that's why it is the largest herbarium it has. And that's why it is an international center for the plant identification. So these are the characteristics of the herbarium. Then we will go to the botanical garden. It is also one of the taxonomical aid for the identification of the plants. See, the botanical gardens have the collections of living plants. For the reference. Here we have here the next point. See this. The plant species in these gardens are growth for identification purposes, and each plant is labeled indicating its botanical or scientific name and its family. Here the living plants is there. In the botanical garden, living plants is there, and these living plants are having the tag. What is that? The tag contains the which means there contains the botanical names and their family names. Next point, see, the famous botanical gardens are at Kew. These are having the many number of plants are there. and that plants are every plant that has a tag or that has a label, and that label which is containing the scientific name and family name. That's why these are the referral for the further use. These are the referral system for the identification of the newly identified plant. For the next here the Indian Botanical Garden. Here it is also Indian Botanical Garden which is present at Howrah, and Indian here the National Botanical Research Institute which is located at Lucknow in India. These two gardens are which is located in our India. These are also having the these are also used for the identification of the plants. Here in this botanical garden, which means they are living plants, and which are containing the label, that label which is containing the scientific name and the family name. That's why we have to easily identify the newly organism, newly plant. That's why these are the reference system for the identification of the plants. These are the characteristics, these are the taxonomical aids. One is the herbarium and second one is the botanical garden. These are the taxonomical aids we are discussing. Thank you.